Welcome to this web lecture about the use of documentation and help. Now, help and documentation are very different things. Documentation is meant to learn all the intricate details of a complex application. Having documentation in digital form really helps because you can make the documentation searchable, you can add hypertext links and many other tools. Documentation is often ignored by the users, especially when a program is really exciting and hopefully not too complex. Users want to get going right away. So it is never an excuse for bad usability that it's all explained in the manual. Help is very different. Help is intended for troubleshooting. Users are working with an application and at some point they run into trouble. The context, what they are doing, should be known by the system at that time. And so help can be made context sensitive to solve a current problem of the user. When we create documentation, it's not a good idea to start with a printed manual and then just convert it to PDF. It's not a good idea because page layout doesn't adapt well to the screen, and page layout is restricting what you can write. The page breaks in a paper document are very often not topic breaks. By making documentation specifically for an online environment or a digital environment, you no longer need to consider pages. There is also typically no history of how a manual is used. In a PDF reader, you can browse any way you want, but the PDF reader does not keep track of which pages you read and which you didn't. If we create a website instead, right, then the history is kept by the browser. A PDF reader doesn't have an embedded menu structure. Yes, you can make the table of contents clickable, but then you switch back and forth between table of contents and pages instead of having them side by side. So generally, using an HTML documentation on a CD or putting it online on a website is a better idea to make use of hypertext as an interface paradigm. Digital manuals allow you to add functionality that's impossible in paper manuals, like search and multiple indices. And typically, a paper document will have a table of contents, maybe an index, an alphabetical index at the end, but we can add many more different types of indices, organizing the material in different ways. You can have multiple tables of contents depending on what type of user you have. There is no restrictions anymore. You can have clickable tables of figures and tables. Often a user remembers that there was a specific figure right on the page or in the topic that he wants to find, and by going through the table of figures and making them clickable, right, you can find the right page right away. You can also add electronic bookmarks. Oh, these places I want to return to. And as you learn more about the application, you may want to add some notes. Right? This is much easier to do in electronic form than in a printed document where maybe you can add yellow stickies or something. Right? The hypertext traversal using cross-reference links makes it easier to help users find related information by means of links. Browsers will do the automatic history keeping, so you know where you've been before. Help, as I said, is used to solve problems. It must be always available and easy to access. In a different web lecture, I showed a screencast of the OASIS system where at the time you need help, it's not available. This happens in many applications. The help should also be easy to get rid of again, right, and return to the application. Help should be specific, accurate, and complete. And that is because when you ask for help, you are in a very specific situation that the system can know. Right? And the help you get should really refer to that situation, and it should offer a complete solution for the problem that you have. In order to do that, help systems may need to collect data not only from you, but also from other users to better recognize situations, context, right, and provide help that really applies to the problem that you have. Never, ever use help to compensate for poor interface design. When the user needs help, there is already a problem that maybe you can solve, right, in an update or the next version. And if you realize that users need help and you offer a help facility, don't mock the users by essentially telling them in a funny way that the help does not yet exist. If your help isn't ready, your product isn't ready and should not be given to the end users. Context-sensitive help can sometimes be very simple. For instance, user-controlled interactive object help like tooltips. When you mouse over an icon and you click right away, you will not see a tooltip. The tooltip only becomes available when you hesitate for a brief moment, and then the system will give you a bit of help. Other applications, right, will place help in a dedicated place on the screen. For instance, in a web browser, there is a one-line message available at the bottom that can tell you when you mouse over a link, right, what is the destination that you would go to when you click on that link. Typically, it shows the URL of that page, but it can actually show anything you want. Intelligent help based on what the users have done, right, satisfies the principle of doing what the user wants. So creating this help is guessing what the user wants. Now, in making intelligent help systems is seriously difficult. And the problem is that once you show a hint of intelligence in an application, users will very easily overestimate the level of intelligence they can expect and will be frustrated when that level of intelligence isn't there. Such intelligent help systems should also give unobtrusive advice. Right? They shouldn't always be bothering the user with, oh, can I help you with this? Can I help you with that? Microsoft Research developed a great tool to give intelligent help in the office environment. Unfortunately, research results are handed over to a different department which develops the actual product. In turning the research results into a product, the algorithms were simplified in order to boost performance, and the result is that the so-called intelligent paperclip, better known as Clippy, isn't really giving you a lot of useful help most of the time, and it introduced a new usability problem. The style that you see in the intelligent paperclip breaks the Windows standard of dialog boxes used for such interaction with the user. Now, Microsoft has solved most of the problems with Clippy with a very simple action in a later version of Office. They made the intelligent paperclip be turned off by default. There is a lot of research on how to guide users in a personalized way, using what we call adaptive systems. About this topic of creating intelligent information disclosure in general, and help in particular, we have a specific course, Adaptive Web-Based Systems, and we hope to see all of you there when you reach the master level. Thank you for participating.